Hello, beautiful people. It's Sindafam. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be checking this video together. Let's check it out.
Tessa Dunlop, you've been seething away quietly to my left. I can see you simmering, so simmer away.
You appall me, Piers. Occasionally I think, no, he's found the light, he's seen the light, he's no longer crashing on about Harry. And then this appalling diatribe we've just had to sit through. You claiming, you lying there, suggesting that you're putting their names out effectively to save the monarchy. You put their names out for clicks. You're no better than 𝑗𝑜𝑖𝑛. In fact, you're worse. You call him a little spittle. You're a great big gob of phlegm that's just landed on the royal doormat. I don't know how you slept last night. I struggled to sleep thinking about what you'd done. I really can't. And yes, I did. I did know that.
All right, stop the performative crap.
No,
honestly, it's performative crap.
No, let's just hold on to your
calm
words.
down. Have a civilised conversation.
I'm not
the
calm.
idea you didn't sleep over this. You don't even know these people.
I was properly angry by your hypocrisy. And then
What's
you
the
sit
hypocrisy?
there, Piers, because you spend day in, day out, you're pro-monarchy, the wonderful Queen, wonderful Charles, and then you go and dob Kate and Charles right in it when one's at COP 28.
Oh, no,
yes, you did.
Wait a minute. Oh, no,
yes,
no.
You
No,
did.
no, no, no,
Oh,
no.
yes, you
I'll
did.
tell you who did that. 𝑗𝑜𝑖𝑛 because these names appeared in a draft of his book, which was published in the Netherlands.
And they were under the line.
To Netherlands
It was tittle-tattle till you popped it on a Murdoch platform.
Yeah.
And now you've just had the gall to suggest
You're
that
on a Murdoch platform right now.
I know I am.
You got a
and
problem
I'm
with
just
that?
correcting the record.
You got a problem with that?
For the record, that was Piers's highly dubious opinion. I've got a problem with you tonight, Piers. A real problem.
Why would you have a problem with being on a Murdoch platform?
Because what you did was you put those names.
You're being paid to appear.
Yes, I know, but you took the names.
Why are you doing
the
that?
rumour.
Why are you being paid to appear
and
here?
you put it on an official platform.
Why are you being paid?
You turned it from fiction
Why
to
have
fact.
you accepted money from a Murdoch platform?
To challenge you.
Did you hear? She said it turned it from fiction to facts. Fiction to facts.
Fiction
Why
to
have you
fact.
accepted money from a Murdoch platform?
To challenge you about your behaviour and hypocrisy. And by the way, just the word baseless.
So you're
How do you know that Meghan's rumours were baseless? How do you know what she accused
Where's
the
the
royal family
evidence?
of?
Any of it?
But where's the evidence that it was baseless?
Where?
Well, obviously, it's very difficult when the two accusers are the chief witnesses.
They couldn't even decide on Oprah Winfrey what year these supposed conversations had happened or how many there were. Right? They couldn't decide what year.
Doesn't mean it didn't happen. You
really?
Take notes and write in your diary when something happened.
Let me go to Dickie.
I just want to come in. You mentioned the Oprah interview, and quite frankly, Meghan said that it happened, the conversation happened when she was pregnant. About 10 minutes later, Harry came into the interview and said it happened before they were married.
Right.
So when did it happen? And did it happen? And there's a big question mark.
Exactly.
I will take issue with you naming yesterday, and I made that point this morning. You are a bit of a law unto yourself.
He's worse than a law
Excuse me, I didn't interrupt you.
Actually, just on the law point, it was entirely lawful what I did. So I did seek legal advice. I got very good, sound legal advice. And actually, there's no question, I didn't take the law onto myself. I actually applied the letter of the law. This information had been published in the Netherlands. Dutch people were free to read it, and I took a view. It was ridiculous that British people couldn't be aware of this information. I also said, when I named them, that I didn't believe a word of the racist allegations made against them.
I didn't either. I didn't believe anything of that interview. It was just a diatribe of absolute nonsense, as is the book, Endgame. And as you rightly say, Endgame, the only person in Endgame is 𝑗𝑜𝑖𝑛. But I did take issue in mentioning him last night. Yes, you have the Brits have a right to know. It's in the Dutch translation. But there are those who will say agree with you. There are those who disagree with you.
Well, many of the papers who've held off apparently tonight are going to name them.
You gave them no choice, Piers.
You've always got a choice. Sorry, you always have a choice.
Everybody's got a choice.
Everyone has a choice. Everyone had a choice when it was published in the Netherlands not to repeat the names, right?
Because, I mean, look at it. People are asking, if it were before, when people raise and say, oh, somebody was being racist to them and all of that, it would be of utmost concern because people want to know, okay, who exactly were there, what did they say and all of that. People would really believe those. But now, I mean, because obviously, when you look at the society today, racism itself is used so much that it has lost its true meaning and essence. And sometimes, like, people just find every goddamn thing and be like, oh, because this is this, then obviously it's got to be racist. Like, really? Make it make sense. What do you think? And obviously from the statement here, what do you think? Be the judge.
If they're all going to repeat them tonight in the papers, they were just a day after us, right? And I have a show called Uncensored for a reason. I don't believe in self-censorship. I don't believe when the Dutch people can read this information in a book available in bookstores, as some of them had already bought copies, that British people should be denied that information. And the information, by the way, is hugely significant. We've waited 2.5 years to find out who these members of the royal family were that Meghan Markle and Prince...
Weird people like you with an obsession, Piers, have been waiting 2.5 years.
No, actually the entire country has.
No, that's just it's a misrepresentation of most of the country.
What I actually want to know is, he said he had no help from the Sussexes, and yet, on the other hand, he said he saw the letters.
Yeah.
So how did he see the letters?
How has he got the information?
Exactly.
He's not got it from King Charles.
It's all come from Montecito.
Right, Paula.
Thank you. Wow. OK, so you're going to be shocked at this, but I actually agree with you that you named, that you identified them yesterday. And let me explain to you why.
Of course.
Because everybody in the royal circle knew who it was. All the royal journalists knew who it was. I've spoken to people who knew who it was. The fact that they've been named didn't come as a surprise to me because it's fairly common knowledge among journalists
I actually
who it
don't
was.
think many journalists knew about the Princess of Wales. I think they thought it was another member of the royal family.
But you
with
accept
Charles.
that
Well, I was
people
actually
knew.
surprised, but I was not surprised that, again, it made it even more to me obvious that this is all complete bullcrap.
Exactly. And that's where you and I actually agree on this, because the fact that it was they were named in the Netherlands is almost neither here nor there. The fact is there are people here who knew, and you're right, the British people did have a right to know who it was. And now we know who it is. What's going to happen next? Well, surely action needs to be taken. And here's where I am disappointed with you. I'm disappointed with you because we had a monologue of you berating and throwing disdain at Meghan, at Harry, at Omid.
Yeah.
Talking as if you have spoken to King Charles, talking as if you have spoken to Kate, spoken as if you have spoken to Camilla, but you haven't. And so if you haven't, everything that you have said is based on assumption. And I think you did accept, you did accept actually. And everyone's free to watch it back.
Let me respond.
No.
Let me
because
respond.
you actually used the word assumptions in what you were saying. You are also making you are also making very dangerous assumptions. And what you have done this evening is you have set anybody back who is suffering from racism.
Oh, what a load of cobblers.
Forward.
What a honestly.
Because you are suggesting,
honestly, what a load of cobblers.
that because of what somebody
I tell you who's put
looks
racism
like
back.
and because of their role in society, that you cannot challenge them. That is what you have said this evening, and that is dangerous.
No, I tell you who's
it doesn't matter who it is.
Who's put back racism.
It doesn't matter who it is.
I tell you who's put back racism.
A person can be
People who
challenged.
cry wolf about racism.
I don't know if they're crying wolf.
They're despicable.
I don't know if they're crying
I've been assured.
Who by who?
Never you mind.
Oh, come on, you're not going to name your sources. And we have to
but I've been assured.
Well, you named
the
King Charles
allegations
and Kate. Let's name your source.
Who's your source?
I don't reveal any sources. Right?
Well,
but I've been assured they are unfounded.
we can't rely on what you're saying.
But more importantly, where is the evidence?
In the letters, no doubt.
Where?
In the letters, no doubt.
Where's the evidence?
What letters?
I would like to see these letters because no
So would
doubt
I.
that's where the evidence
So would I.
is. So you asked where the evidence is.
So would I.
I've suggested
well,
looking at those letters.
Now we may have started something where we may find out.
I don't want to wait 1,000 years. I don't want them to be locked away in some cellar somewhere.
I think if you're going to accuse members of the royal family of racism, you should have the decency and the courage to stand up, say who it was, say what they said,
and you
say
talk
the
about
context
you
they
having
said
decency.
it, and say when they said it.
I'm flabbergasted. So you're the victim of racism, but you're challenging the victim on having decency,
Who's the victim?
on being decent.
Who's the victim?
Is that what you're saying?
Who's the victim?
Piers? Because I know
Who's
that
the
it's
victim?
incredibly
Paula,
difficult.
who's the victim?
Incredibly difficult.
Paula, who's the victim?
I don't know. But
you don't know?
I do know.
So you're talking about a mythical victim.
What I do know is
it's a ridiculous
that
conversation.
Harry and Meghan.
So I'm apparently
come back from
disrespecting
this.
some victim, but you don't know who that is.
You're challenging what they're saying.
It's not true.
You're challenging. How do you know?
Where's the proof?
What?
2.5 years.
So what we're waiting for is evidence, and then once you've got your evidence, your evidence, will you apologise?
People are racist.
Piers,
put up and
once
shut
you've
up.
got your evidence, will you apologise?
Yeah, sure.
You'll apologise to Meghan.
Don't get me wrong.
Will you apologise to Meghan?
If Meghan Markle produces actual evidence of racism, let's see it. And if it's proven
Because
that King Charles or the Princess of Wales were racist about her baby, I will apologise to her. Let me tell you, I can say that with real confidence, because it ain't going to happen.
Because you haven't apologised yet for the fact that you were wrong about the threats that were made on her life in terms of all the far-right groups, on the terms of who...
I didn't talk about that.
She said that they affected her mental health, and you said that she was lying.
No, I didn't. This is, again, you're misquoting me. I didn't say that. I said I didn't believe she went to a senior member of the royal household and said she was feeling suicidal and they wouldn't allow her to get help. And no evidence for that has ever been produced, and nor has that allegation ever reappeared in the Netflix series, the Harry book, or the podcast. It didn't happen.
So you accept
These
that she
things
suffered from
did
her mental
not
health?
happen.
So you accept
if they
that she
happened,
suffered...
they would have been repeated.
Do you accept that she suffered from her mental health? Do you accept that she
I have no
struggled
idea.
with it?
I wasn't there, was I? All I know is she did not go to a senior member of the royal household saying, I'm suicidal, and they said, you can't get help.
You've just said you don't know about her mental health, and yet you said with a surety earlier in this conversation that her claims about racism, about the questions of the colour of her baby, they were baseless. How can you say that with a surety when you weren't there?
Where's the proof?
You weren't there.
Where's the proof?
Unless she was sitting there with a tape
Where's the
recorder,
proof?
there may not be
Where's the
proof.
proof?
Piers, you're an intelligent
and that's
man.
the
There is no
problem.
proof.
Incredibly hard.
Let's take a short
to
break.
prove an
Then we'll
allegation.
come back.
Nonsense.
Let's talk a short break, and we'll come back. I mean, hysteria is fine to a point. It's a bit performative.
You began
right?
hysterical, but you went on for 12
Try and
minutes.
stay on point. No. I made my point. You can have an argument without being hysterical. It's a bit pathetic.
I want to believe lots of people know that there is racism, there is discrimination. People can be racist towards other people, and people can discriminate other people. There is no justification for anybody being terrible towards another person based on their skin color. But the society we live in today, people use racism, discrimination. In fact, discrimination is no longer part of it. It's almost like, nah, they don't. If they use discrimination, it's not going to be sweet. Or nobody is going to take them seriously. So they're going to use racism. Because it sells. Victimhood sells. Mental health sells. And if you dare question people on this, then you are the problem. Because, oh, how dare you downplay somebody's experience? Because make it make sense. How is it that people can say, oh, this... Because obviously, there are people that are paid to sell racism, sell victimhood, sell mental health. And for cheap. Because there is a market for it. And they know they kind of like cater for people's emotions. And obviously, there are people that don't mind to say, okay, this person is racist, and just push a certain narrative and make people believe. Because obviously, lots of people would rather believe the royal family is racist than find every reasons to say, oh, they're not. But because somebody said it, then therefore they are pushing on that narrative or buying into that narrative, which doesn't even make sense. And look at the rage she has, Tessa displayed. Like, look at it. The question here is, if you raise your concerns and you start questioning some things that are not sitting well or are not okay, does that make you a terrible person? Because obviously, if you want to fight racism, then obviously you have to get to the bottom root of it and know where what you're fighting, who you're fighting against, what you're dealing with. Not just run off of because somebody said so. Then take it to be the concluding matter. Aren't people supposed to fight based on evidence, so you know what you're getting into? If you're going to battle or going to the battlefield, you have to know who your real enemy is, or you have to know who your enemy is. You don't go to the battlefield blindly. So what are we doing? Well, this was interesting. Regardless, let me know what you think. I'm sure tons of people have interesting things to share. I would really love to share that and share the useful information you think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next